Hi, welcome to Waylo's Workshop. I'm Waylo, and today we're taking a look at All Quiet on the Martian Front. This is from Alien Dungeon. This is our first unboxing for M4. This particular game is a 15mm miniature game featuring the armies of humanity against the second Martian invasion. Now, this game is based on H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and the idea is that a second Martian wave hits after the first one dies off that hit England, and this second invasion is now invading North America. So I'm real excited about this game. This is the core box set, so I really want to take an in-depth look at it. So let's start with the outside with the box art. First of all, as you can see on the cover, you have Mark II tanks being depicted here against the tripod walkers. It's named after All Quiet on the Western Front because it is being depicted as a World War I game. Here on the side of the box, you can see it's again All Quiet on the Martian Front. We're seeing Mark II tanks going up against alien tripods and some type of alien walkers here in the background. You can't see it, but it appears to be a trench here with a bridge going over. Here on this side, we're seeing a Mark III tank along with another alien tripod, and again the name of the game, All Quiet on the Martian Front. On this side of the box, we see again more expansion pieces like we did on the other side, along with again Mark II tanks going over what appears to be trenches. This time you could actually see the infantrymen inside the trench, which I think is really cool. And here we're seeing a Mark II type tank, All Quiet on the Martian Front, along with the green gas alien tripod. Then here on the back of the box, it shows you the game content. So we've got 6 Doughboy infantries. So you get basically 6 movement trays of Doughboy infantry. Again, these are 15mm, so these guys are super small. You get a rule book. Now, I've got the hardcover rule book, which gives you all the fluff material. I think this is just going to be the hardcore game components with the simple how to play. You can build up to 6 tanks, and the tanks you can build, build either the Mark II style, which is here, or Mark III style, which gives you the 3 turrets on the tanks. You get a set of templates and dice. It looks like you only get 2 dice though, so I'm probably going to need to get more of those. And then as far as the aliens go, you get 3 alien tripod kits. Now there's they can be built in any one of 3 different styles, which I'll show you as we go through. You also get 3 machine gun teams and 3 Rough Rider motorcycle troops. And what they mean by Rough Rider, I'll explain when we go in depth when we take a look at the unbooking of the actual gaming manual for this game. So real quick, let's take a moment and then we'll take a look inside the box. Okay, great. Alright, to start with, I think we'll just go ahead and open up the box and just go through its content, and then we'll look at each of the components individually. So let's see what it's inside. Well, first of all, I can tell you this box is full right up to the brim. I don't know if you can see that, but it is chocked full. So there's no empty hollow spaces there. It looks like you're already getting your money's worth. This appears to be the instructions to build the model types. And again, like we were talking about earlier, the tripods can be built up into 3 different versions. You got a green gas version, a black dust launcher, or the third version, which is what you're seeing here, is the heat ray. And with the tanks, it can be built up into 2 different versions, which is the Mark II or Mark III, which is basically the number of turrets you have, number of guns you have on the outside. And it shows you a basic set of rules for deployment here on the back, like a quick guide. Then right on the top here, we've got the templates. I'm assuming this is to determine distances of attack for the Martian units. I don't know for sure. I haven't actually gone through the rules yet. But those look pretty sturdy. Then here you've got that set of dice. These are 8-sided dice. There's 2 of them. One's green, one's red. I'm assuming one's Martian, one's human. Then it looks like we got some kind of hit markers or damage indicators or task markers. I don't know which they are. I haven't read the instructions, but again, they seem to be pretty solidly made. And then we've got the actual metal figures. And again, these are 15 millimeters, so as you can see, these are really, really small here. And that's the motorcycle guys right there. But we'll open those up and take a closer look. I just want to see right now what's in the box. So up next, looks like we've got the first bag that seems to have 3 sprues in it of tank parts. That's what it looks like. Don't know if these are all the same. The second sprue, again, more tank parts. There's 3 more, so I'm assuming it's that's to make all 6 of the different tanks that you can be making. And then again, now it looks like we have the sprues for the upper portions of the alien tripods. So there you go. And then here I'm seeing legs and bases, so already I can see that these are the lower halves of those alien tripods. And then finally we've got the All Quiet on the Martian Front rule book. Really, really nice cover art. Nice in-game depiction there. Sorry about the focusing. Then inside, it looks like it's just a core set of rules. Of course, this is in black and white. The actual hardcover manual version I've got is in full color, which we'll take a look at in a different video. Okay, let's start opening packages and see what we have here. This first one looks like radius templates. Be able to determine whether or not you've effectively hit a target. I don't know if it's for both sides or just for the Martian side of things, but I want you to see that. That's a good size piece of plastic right there. Very solid, very well made. This is not cheap. That's thick. Same thing with this larger radius template. Same thing there. Very nice, very decent. Okay, that aside, let's see if these are any smaller than those. These appear to be some kind of hit markers, possibly objective markers. Let's just get a cross section here of what they look like. Here, as you can see, they are the same thickness, and they are well made. So, I mean, they didn't skimp here. I don't know. Let's see if we can get that in focus. They didn't skimp here. It looks like we've only got 3 different styles inside the bag from what I saw. I don't see anything different there. Circle, triangle, and some kind of a bang mark or a star. Well, we'll set those aside and let's take a look at the dice, yeah? So we'll push this off to the side. The dice themselves, they feel meaty. They don't feel chintzy. Clearly marked. Nice shape to them. Good weight to them. So that's it for these. Alright, and then we'll start taking a look at the sprues. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. We're taking a look at our first bag of sprues here. These bags came open, so I didn't open that. That came open that way. These are the tanks. Now, these tanks are supposed to be 15 millimeter, but they are obviously much larger. One of the things I've seen on the chat boards is the fact that because these are supposed to be steam-driven tanks, they run on coal. They're larger than the normal Flames of War size tanks. Now, the first thing I'm noticing here is we're getting some real crisp, clean detail there. The plastic is heavy, it's thick. It's not like the thinner plastic of modeling. This stuff's got a little bit of weight and meat to it. As you can see, there's pin marks, pin openings, so these are made to fit together well. Of course, when we start building these up, I'll show you a build up on one, but just to go through on the sprue there, that's coming up real nice on camera there. But as you can see, that's very, very crisp, very clean, not very much flashing to remove, no rough points. It looks primarily just like it's going to be the contact points here with the sprue when you cut these out. We're actually going to have to do any type of work at all. These are real nice. And I'm thinking that these are all exactly the same. I think I've got 2 bags of the exact same thing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you could build either the Mark II or the Mark III tanks, and it looks like these are identical, which I believe they are. Okay, so there you go. And each of these sprues, again, real crisp, clear detail line. If you can see that, that's a hatch up here on top with the hinges. Doors for the sides of the tank, where these openings are, in case you don't want to put the 3 guns to it. Up here on the back side, you can see as well, very clean, very crisp lines. Really well made, very sturdy plastic. I don't think you're going to have any problems with breakage. Nothing here seems weak or flimsy, nothing wiggly. So I'm liking that. Let me grab another bag of these tanks and see if they are. Okay, so now here we have our 2 packages of tanks. There's 3 sprue trees in each, and what I've done is I've just taken the time to go ahead and remove one from each package, because I am correct. These are exactly identical. And as you can see, coming out of the second package, they're just really well made. Real crisp, clean lines. Again, the plastic here that they're using, very heavy, very sturdy, very dependable. So these will be good for very good for endless gaming scenarios. I'm really looking forward to playing this game, by the way. I was very excited when I found it in the store. I missed the Kickstarter. This was actually offered as a Kickstarter. I did miss that Kickstarter, unfortunately. And so when I was in my local gaming store and I came across this set, I was very excited by this idea. I really like it. I'm going to go over more of the game itself when I do the unbooking of the manual. And we'll explain a little bit more why I really love this game. But moving on, so that's it. That's the tanks. Give me 1 second, and we'll come back and take a look at the tripods. Okay, and here we are with the Martian Horde. Let's begin with once again, these are open. I did not cut that open. It came that way. And these are. Looks like the upper portion of the Martian war machine. These are the tripods. As you can see, again, very clean, crisp lines. Just like with the tanks, really nice detail there, real nice seam lines. You can get panel lines there in the hull of that. Again, I don't know if the camera's picking all that up. I'm trying to get it in there for you. Of course, as we go and paint them, you'll get a better view of all of these. Again, I'm trying not to throw that off too bad. Hopefully you're able to see all that detail. The detail is real crisp, real well defined. And again, looks like they're made to go together well. Obviously you have the male female here, tabs on both sides, so that's looking real good as well. And once again, I think these are all 3 exactly the same. I think they're all 3 uppers, which it looks like they are. So there you go. There you can see those panel lines real well right now. Look at that. Really nice. There's the big Martian eye. But we'll go ahead and set these aside and then take a look at the sprue of the lower portion of the tripods. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and here we are with the lower portion of the Martian war machine. Again, we have 3 sprues in the bag. Again, it looks as though all 3 are exactly the same. And what you have here is basically, it looks like just the weaponry. Well, part of the weaponry anyway, and the legs and base buildup. Now you have their antenna here for grabbing things, and of course there's some of the legs of the tripod. Where I'm getting confused here, it looks as though one of these legs is in motion. I'll have to check out the box art and the book, but it looks as though one of these is articulated. I'm seeing a joint here. I don't know if you could see that, but again, real crisp, real clean lines, real nice detail. This will take wash, and those details will pop right across the gaming table. That'll come out real nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that does. And that base is very thick. Again, I don't want to cut it out of the sprue at the moment, but that is a very good sized chunk of plastic to hold these up. So that's got some weight and meat to it. So that'll be really good. Again, give me 1 second here and we'll be back with the actual 50mm soldiers. Okay, what we've got here is a pretty hefty package of white metal doughboy figures. Assuming that they're packaged separately, we're probably going to find a package of motorcyclists, which is what I'm seeing here. I don't know if you could see those guys. It looks to be as though the handlebars of the motorcycles are separate pieces on these, so we'll have to take a look at that. Machine gun units, which is what it appears to be there. And then I'm only going to take one of these out because it looks like you get 2 bags that make 6 units, or 3 units, I'm sorry, of the total of 6 units of infantry. So we'll set this aside and let's take a look right here. We'll start here. Inside the bag you've got 3 movement trays. This is going to require some cleanup here. These are pretty thick pieces of plastic. Not as thick as the radius plates were, but that's pretty sturdy. It's got some kind of texturing to it here on one side, very slick on the other. So those are 3 trays there. And then let's see if we can get a good cross section of these figures out. I'm assuming they're not all in exactly the same pose. But again, I don't know how to get that on camera real well. But there you go. Got his little helmet on. Gun in hand, backpack. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah, he's real well detailed, real nice detail. These guys all also appear to be wearing gas masks because of the green gas and the black dust, I'm assuming. They're all wearing gas masks. So pretty much from what I'm seeing here, it looks as though they're not much difference in poses. What I'm pulling out here, it looks like they're pretty much all the same figure. I was hoping they would be, you know, different poses and different equipment on each unit, but assuming they're just infantrymen, I guess it does make sense that they would all be posed alike. So there you go. Now, when we go to paint these, I'm only going to paint 1 unit of these on camera. I'll show you from start to finish how to, you know, glue these down, clean up the flashing on them, bring up the detail on them. And again, they're 15 millimeters, so there's not much, real much effort you're going to use to get these painted. It's not like you're going to be worrying about trying to highlight and accentuate detail, because mainly what you're going to do is just paint them to pop, so that you can see the gun, you can see his helmet, you can see his backpack equipment. Here I've got what appears to be the machine gun team. Let me see if I can get, it looks like there's 3 figures to this. Let me see if I can get all 3 different figures for you. This way you can get a look at it. Okay, that's what we've got there. Now these guys are being based on round circle bases. And again, slick on one side, some kind of a texture on the other. I think you can see that on the camera there. And then what we've got here is a guy with binoculars. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. His backpack detail there. Lot of equipment on the back of this guy. So it's going to be working with the. Sorry, I can't seem to keep it in focus there. Trying to do this while I'm watching the monitor, so you know this is tricky here. And again, it just doesn't want to. There it goes. There you go. Yeah, he's got a lot of gear on him. This guy appears to be the loader. So you got a sighter, a reloader, and again, there's that detail. Look at that detail. And then our actual gunner. And there you go there. And again, there are seam lines on this. I'm seeing flashing on these figures, so these are not real clean. You can see it right here, coming off the side there. Right there. So these are going to take a little bit of cleanup to get them up and rolling. And again, we're going to do that. We're going to do one of each of these units. So I'll give you one movement tray here, one movement tray here, and then the Rough Riders. And I really like the idea of this. Teddy Roosevelt is president at the time of the invasion, and by an act of Congress, he maintains his presidency. So Theodore Roosevelt is fighting the Martians. That's part of the fluff of the game. Again, these are nice squares. Again, texture on one side, smooth on the other. So his Rough Riders get on the first set of Harleys, and what they try to do is they try to drive round the legs of the tripods and basically lasso them, trip them. So they run tripwires as they cycle around. Now I'm seeing loose pieces already off of here. The handlebars apparently came off this guy. But basically, again, you got a lot of flashing on here to remove. And they are, of course, you know, the detail on them do look really good. There's a lot of detail there that a wash will bring out. I'm looking forward to trying to kind of a real rough and ruddy. What I'm going to use for these guys actually when I paint them, I'm thinking I'm going to use. Okay, here we have the one set, one extra that I bought outside of the core set, and the reason I bought these was because the video demo I saw of this game online, I thought these were actually included in the core set. And what these figures are is when a infantry unit comes in base contact with one of the tripods, these guys, the Forlorn Hope team, are hidden within the ranks of the infantrymen. And what they do is they're basically like special forces or ranger units, I guess. They grapple and climb the outside of the tripod. So these actually have little hooks, and you string 3 of them together. And what they do is they're setting charges, explosive charges on the outside of the tripods. And I thought that was so nifty, and then when I didn't see it inside the box, I went out and grabbed that. And then here's our big manual that I was talking about. This is the gaming book. The core game goes for about, I want to say 100. This book, I think, retails around 40. But just with the core game that you get in the box set, that's enough for you to be able to play. And I kind of like that because some of the gaming systems that are out there now, I know Games Workshop, if you're trying to get into playing something, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's you're looking at investing $400 or $500 to build up, to get the books that you need, to get the core packaging you need, to build up your troops, to get them painted. Where here, for $100 in some instances, I'm sure you could probably get it cheaper than I did. But you can get pretty much, you've got everything you need in the box to play the game. You're not missing anything. You have the set of rules. You can start playing and then begin expanding from there if you want to. And I really like that because I think these gaming systems are getting more and more expensive. I think they need to get back to, stuff that people can actually afford, especially the younger people that are interested in getting into gaming. I know they compare the pricing on this stuff to video games. So they're looking at their gaming systems, Warhammer 40K. So if it's a $300-$400 investment to get you going, they're looking at the equivalent of you buying an Xbox One or a PS4. And the reality is, a lot of us like to play things we can actually afford and afford to keep up with. So in that realm, this is a really, really neat idea for a game system. The idea that it actually takes place in the time frame of the book, that this is the second Martian wave based on H.G. Wells' original writing, I thought was fantastic. We're going to talk about this in each one of these segments, but H.G. Wells actually created the first war game. He wrote the rules for what's called Little Wars. There's an article over on our website about that. And that's the reason why I picked this game system to review and to build up and go over first. Because I do like the idea that, a pacifist like H.G. Wells turned around and started playing war games. I think it's absolutely spectacular. And his idea was that he would teach people the bad of war, the futility of war. So, that's the reason why I picked this game to go over it first. Hopefully, I did a justice to the box set there. Hopefully I did. I've never done one of these unboxings before. Again, I'm going to do a separate video going over what's in this book, because the fluff in here is just so spectacular, and it's more than I want to put in the video. This video's already ran long enough. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was helpful. As I build up each of the units, I'll do video of each of the units as I do it. The other thing I want to talk about, the tanks, there are decal sheets that you can order separately, which I've gone ahead and ordered mine, because you can put unit numbers on the tanks, little American stars. There's also some decals that can go on the Martian units as well, signifying, maybe their team movements or whatever. But those are worth looking at, and I will try to put a link below the video for Alien Dungeon's homepage. This way, if you guys are interested in getting the core set, you can go ahead and order it directly from them. Other than that, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking us, and until next time.